Hey guys, this is Asad Siddiqui again. I am going to create a follow-up video from yesterday's video, and in today's video I will describe how to work with sliders in the Avada theme. So in yesterday's video we imported the sample content and I showed you how to set up the theme and update the theme, stuff like that. In today's video it will be strictly about the sliders, and we will replace the fusion slider that we had here with a revolution slider. Revolution slider is a plugin, premium plugin that comes in bundled in with the Avada theme, so you get it for free. And I'm gonna show you how to work with the latest versions in the theme, and in the next coming up videos that are coming up, we will explore how to set up the header and customize the header a little bit. So if you haven't subscribed already to my channel, make sure to do that and press the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. So let's jump right into it. First off, yesterday's video I did show you how to install and activate the slider. So once you have installed and activated the slider, you are going to see this slider revolution over here. So before we even jump into that and I start showing you how to create slider, a very good link to have is the free slider exchange. So if you go to free slider exchange, revolution.themepunch.com/free slider exchange, there are already a bunch of sliders that you can use right out of the box. So that is pretty cool. So it takes a second to load, and there you go. So you can actually download and use these sliders as you want without paying for them, and they can be used with the Avada theme. And you can see there are many different type of sliders. They do support Facebook streams and YouTube channels and videos and all kinds of different things that you can explore. Right now, just to show you what it is, I'm just gonna go with a simple one. So this demonstrates the Ken Burns effect, so I'm gonna download that. So you can download that anywhere on your computer. I will say Avada tutorial and classic carousel. So that's a carousel type slider, so I'm gonna save. So all you have to do is to pick a slider that you like. For example, I like this one. I can also download this one. This is the classic slider. I think that's the better option. So once you save that, then you can go back to the Avada theme that you have and click on the slider revolution. Once this comes up, you can import a slider. So you can click on here and just choose file, and we are gonna go to the Avada tutorial folder that I had, and I downloaded the classic slider. So that's it, and we will say import slider. Now, one of the first off, slider revolution is very flexible. So you can do a lot of things with slider revolution. We'll get an overview right now, but I'll also discuss what are the things that you can do going forward. So now you have a classic slider that is imported without having to do anything. You have a slider that you can use right out of the box. So there's the slider, and it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides set up already. And if you want to look at the settings, you can click on this button and it will show you the slider settings. So the slider setting right now it's is set up as a default slider, so it will just be some slides that you just saw. You can also set a post-based slider if you have a blog and you want to display the blog featured images as the slides with some text from excerpt from your blog post. You can do that. You can choose a specific posts for your slider. You can have a Flickr stream, Instagram stream. If in case you have a e-commerce with WooCommerce setup, you can show your products as a slider. You can show your tweets. You can display stuff from your Facebook and from your YouTube channel as well. So that's pretty cool. In fact, I do use YouTube stream sliders on my own site for the tutorials I make, and they work fairly well in the mobile devices as well. So that's a good option to explore. Now you can see the basic setup. When you create a slider, you have to give it a name and the alias, and it generates a short code that you can put in your page. Fusion Builder also supports element for revolution slider. So once you have that element on the page, if you want to display the slider on the page, you can just select that and select the correct slider that you want to display. So after the selecting the slider title and short code, you can select what kind of a slider it is. The other one that we imported was a carousel slider. It could be a hero scene, which is like a big full screen type slider. And then the slider layout, you can change the responsive grid sizes here. So if you want to expand or go something other than the default or setup, you can do that. Aspect ratio is the width to height ratio, and I don't think you have to worry about any of these settings for right now. You can just click on edit slides to edit the slides. Other options that are set up are categorized here in these categories. So general settings, you can stop slide on hover, so that what it will do is stop the slider if somebody brings their mouse over it. You can also select stop slider after. So if you turn that on, it will show you how many loops it will run for and which slide it has to stop. I'll just turn it off. Right now you can just have one slider and select to loop single slide, so that will keep playing and the animations will keep happening over and over. Other than that, there's a progress bar that displays on this slider, so you can turn it off and on here. The position you can also adjust, and the color you can also adjust. And again, this all stuff can be changed with CSS and JavaScript as well, but these are just the options that they provide to you up front. So right now we have a slider. Let's see how we can replace our slider that we created in our previous video with the Fusion slider that came with the sample content import with this slider. So what we are going to do is to edit the page, and once the page opens with Fusion Builder, the first thing you're gonna see is the slider window here. Now if you want to display the slider at the top, what you can do is scroll down where you see page options for Avada. So the page options for Avada is here, and slider configuration is right there. So right now it is set up as Fusion slider, and home slider is what will be displayed. So here you can change it to slider revolution, and now all the slider revolutions are gonna show. So classic slider, which is number 2, we can do that and click on update, and you will see that once the page updates, you will see the blue box that was being displayed now displayed a revolution slider. So there it is, and now I'm gonna view page in a new tab. So there you go. The header and stuff is the same, but the slider is modified. So now you can see how import and export makes it simpler, and it demonstrates a bunch of different things that you can do. So this is a pretty nice slider. It has, this is the intro slide, parallax effect slide. This is the Ken Burns effect. So it will show you some zooming and stuff, some panning, I guess. HTML5 video options. So you can select up, set up a video like that by just changing the HTML5 video, and you can check out the other option as well. So that's a pretty neat slider, I would say, and you can achieve a lot just by changing the images and this text layer. So let's explore that and see how we can change that. First, let's say instead of saying I'm old school, I'm gonna say something that I would like to say for my site. So slide editor, and we select this slide, which is intro, and you scroll down and you will see the slide is right there. So you can see that this is a layer on the slider. That's the power for this slider is it supports layers and editing layers, so you can do a lot with the layers. So right now I think this is just a image layer or something like that. This will tell you exactly what it is. So have it selected, come down, so icon, this is the text layer and they have just selected the icon in there. And then there are two more layers. I am old school but still quite cool, so I am old school, I have that selected, and you see the red light is on this one. So this is the title layer and you can edit it just by double clicking it, and instead of saying I'm old school, you will say whatever you want to say. So you can do that and click on the green icon there, and then you can pull this down, so you can, these layers can move around, like you can drag and drop these things. So once you have positioned it, you always make sure that the alignment is correct, because it's gonna work fairly well in the mobile as well. So you can double click on this and change the text here. So once you have updated that, you can do that as well. And let's say you wanted to add some more text, so you can click on add layer text HTML, and then it'll give you a new layer to work with, and you can like put your text in here and drag your layer as well. So cap, I'll just leave at whatever it is and make sure that my alignment is centered, and then I will drag and drop it so it creates offsets from within the slider view. So you see -13 and 134 are the offsets. So I will just delete this one. I clicked on the delete key, or you can click on, once this is selected, then you can also click on I'm sure there's a button there somewhere that you can click on. Yeah, so you can also right click on it and say delete layer. I think there's a bin icon somewhere here, but I cannot see it in my current view. Anyway, okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, and again, an easy thing to do is just right click here and say duplicate layer, and once you duplicate, oh, these are the icons, I'm sorry. So you can delete layer or duplicate layer or edit layer. So once the layer is selected, you can click to duplicate layer as well, and once the layer is duplicated, it will give you all the formatting and styles that the other layer had, and you can just change the font sizes. Font sizes are right here. The color is right here, what kind of font is being used, and Google font is being used, Railway. So you can change all that if you wish, and then you can also work with the animation. So let's add some animation in. I will just delete this layer that I created to show you how to duplicate layers. We'll say okay, and this I want to add some animation. So I want to go to the animation tab and then select what kind of effects do I want. So I will want the, let's say I want this layer to slide in from the right hand side and go towards the left hand side. So there's a slide effect like that. I think long from left or short from long from right or short from right. If I do short from right, it'll show you that's how it's going to look like. If you're going to do long from right, it is going to be a full slide. So long from right like that. Okay, so other than that, there are also like character based. We are not sliding the whole slide, but you see how these characters come in. So you can say no split here, and now the whole slide comes in. So I like the character base, so I will keep it up character base. You can change the speed of this animation as well by changing the timeouts here, and the preview will show you exactly how the animation is gonna look. So pretty good stuff, very nice. You can also add actions, like what happens if somebody tries to click this layer. You can say actions and link this layer with an external link, so you can add an action like that, and then you can say click and mouse enter or mouse leave, you can have 3 different actions, and right now you can go simple link or callback, or you can do pretty advanced stuff with this as well. So pretty nice options for action. You can also play around with attributes, visibility, and looping options, but I will leave that up to you to explore. And the changes we have made, I will just save the slide, and then if I refresh the page now, you will see that my changes will be live. Okay, so there you go. That was pretty simple and sweet, very nice. Now let's work with some other slide here and see what is the HTML5 video options. So in the HTML5 video options, we'll see where to set that up. So if we go to edit slides again and select the HTML5 video slide, also you can like change the order of these slides just by dragging and dropping them. You can also rename these slides if you wish, so you can put in a name and hit the enter key, or just click the edit here and you will be able to change the captions on it. Okay, so if you are on a video slide, let's say on the video slide we want to change the video. So how to do that? The video will be set up right here, so you can use all these types of backgrounds. You can use a YouTube video, transparent, an image that we were just looking at, an HTML5 video. So if you select the HTML5 video, then you have to provide a source where the video is loaded. Make sure it's not too long, otherwise your slider will drastically slow down, and it will also slow down your page. So just keep it short and sweet, and then it will load okay. So you can again work with the text layers and animations like I showed to you, and you can modify each and every aspect of this. Now if you want to just create a new slide, just pick from these slides and you can duplicate any slide that you want, and you can hide or you can delete the other slides that you're not using. So let's say I don't want to display this parallax slide on my slider. So what I'm going to do is to hover over it and click on this button, which will basically just hide it. So save slide, and then if I refresh this right here, then the first slide, now you don't see that parallax slide. I do see the Ken Burn, and these are just navigation bullets, so you have the option to set these up how you want them in your slider settings. So if you go there and click on settings again, you will see navigation and bullets somewhere, probably scroll effects, fade, blur, grayscale is off. Okay, this doesn't sound like it, so there has to be another one, navigation. So that's what I was looking for. Layout and visual is the second one, where you can have spinners, different kind of spinners for mobile as well. Appearance, you can select if you want a shadow. Avada by default has a shadow in it, so they have done it with their custom styles. So the good thing about this is once you start changing stuff here, it shows you a preview of the window as well. So the navigation, going back to navigation, if I expand this, you will see the bullets options here, and there are a bunch of things that you can do. So right now the bullets are set up as thumbnails. I believe that's the center, bottom. Okay, I guess there is another thumbs option that they're using for thumbnails. So enable that is turned off. So right now I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. Maybe it's something here. Okay, enable bullets is on. If I turn it off, the bullets go away. So it is turned on, and I believe they have a okay, hide under width is turned on, so that means that the mobile will not display those. Preview image size, so I don't know if they specify anywhere whether they're using thumbnails for the bullets or not. That's the setting that I cannot find, but I will find it and I will update my description in the video for that. So those are the settings, and you can see how easy it is to just download a nice slider from the slider exchange and just use it for your purpose and then modify it. You can also have more than one sliders on the page. Let's say we want to use the other slider after, like, somewhere on the page. So what we want to do is first import the other slider or duplicate this slider, or however you can create a new slider, brand new slider, if you want to spend more time with it and play around and explore your options. But once that is available, I'll just duplicate the slider that we have. And I will go to all sliders, and you can duplicate this slider as well. So I will drop down and duplicate this and just say duplicate or whatever you want to say, and then duplicate it. So once this is duplicated, now instead of this one, I'm gonna change the image in the first one. So I will just go down and just change the image. So instead of main background image, media library, and I will select something else. So I will just select this one that was previously set up. So now my slider will look like this, and then this one is not being displayed, this one is not being displayed, this one is not being displayed, and I'll just have these two slides. And you can again add as many text layers as you want. This is very flexible. So I will just save the slide up, and then I'll go back to my page and add the slider somewhere. So let's say this we want to display instead of in the whole new container at the bottom of the page. So I'll just add a container towards the bottom of the page, and I'll say 1 by 1, and inside of this container I can click on the element and select revolution slider. Now this is a pretty handy dandy feature where you can type in and it filters the available widgets, but you can also find it by scrolling, and these are in alphabetical order, so it should be fairly easy. But I will select revolution slider here, and once I do that, it asks me to select the slider. Did I save the slider? So I have to save and refresh it before I can do this. So right now even my previous window is loaded, so I will have to again refresh this page to make sure my new slider is available in these options. So we will go back to the bottom of the page. Okay, so let's say we want to add a new container here. 1 by 1 is what we will select, and then here we will just say scroll down and say revolution slider right there, and now my slider is available, which is called duplicate. So I will just say duplicate and save and update the page. So now essentially what we have done is added a new container on our page. Page can have as many sliders as you want, so there is no restriction. And I will refresh this page, and then we'll go to the bottom and verify that our slider is displaying. So the first thing that you will see is the first slider that comes up, and then you go down at the bottom and you will see that there is another slider that comes up right like that. So if you want this to be full width as well, you can play around with the container settings, and I've done that in like the other videos that I've created. So instead of just displaying the width of the site, this displays 100% width for your container, and that's how you have multiple sliders here. So many modern websites, they have 2 or 3 different sliders on the home page, but I try to be cautious in my design when I'm working with sliders, because they do take a lot of resources, they have some restrictions, and also they can slow down your site load time a little bit, which is important for SEO. So that's why I try to be careful, but it is very, very flexible, very visually appealing, and very easy to use. So it's a great way to do stuff in the Avada theme. I just wanted to make a quick follow-up and show you guys the power of these revolution slider. and give you some basics on how to use it, how to edit the text elements here, video elements there, and what kind of options are available. So until next time, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.